There was a report from Chris Thomason of the Denver Gazette. He talked to Trevor Price, who, of course, is one of the best defensive players the Broncos have ever had. And Trevor Price said that Nik Bonitto should get $20 million plus a year. Bonito quoted it with the 100 emoji.
Okay.
Basically saying, give me my $20 million plus a year. Well, another big fan of Nik Bonitto is DeMarcus Ware. And he was on with Kay Adams and was asked about Bonito, who's entering the final year of his deal, make about $5.5 million, grossly underpaid for his production a season ago. And here is what DeMarcus told Kay.
Your face kind of lit up when I said his name. Is he special?
He is.
Yeah.
He
Right.
reminded me like a combination of like Shaq Barrett and Von Miller. Like Shaq Barrett.
Pretty good.
I'm just saying, like Shaq Barrett, he's more like a solid block. Like, I mean, solid guy, had, very fast, but had the quickness of Vaughn.
Yeah.
Like, so with Vaughn was more of a lean guy, but when you have a combination of power and speed, he has both of those.
Yeah.
That's why I say he can repeat it. He's not a one wonder because he's one-dimensional. He can do it again because he has all the attributes to be a great player and be consistent.
I mean, super high praise. Obviously, Shaq Barrett was good for the Broncos and then became great when he went down to Tampa Bay and tore it up for the Buccaneers. Von Miller, an absolute legend, best defensive player in Denver Broncos history. What do you make of DeMarcus Ware heaping that kind of praise on Bonito? And should the Broncos be paying Bonito before training camp rolls around?
You're not going to be able to pay everybody. Let's just start there. And if we look at the three largest names that you're going to have to pay, or most likely to pay, they are Courtland Sutton, probably first, Zach Allen, probably second, and Nik Bonitto, probably third. But here's the thing. You still have this year under contract. You still have the franchise tag available to you next year. And I'm not saying Nik Bonitto needs to prove anything. He proved it last year.
I mean, he was a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year
over the
November.
course of his career. He's proved it as well. He comes into the league as a player I'm excited about, but a player I also said, he's super raw. He's got all the tools, but he hasn't put them together, similar to some conversations we've had about some rookies this year. Like, hey, they're toolsy, but they got to put it together. Second year, he became better. He was a liability against the run. He became better. Third year, amazing, to quote Archer. It was a great show. Now, going forward, all right, you expect double-digit sacks again. You have to ask yourself, is he ever going to be a 17-sack guy? That's what special is. Kev, give me the numbers best for Shaq Barrett in his career, because I think he approached 20, and I think it was bested Von Miller's best of his career, which I believe was 18. So, Kev, give me both of those numbers, because that's what you have to ask yourself. And here's the other thing, and I'm going to ask you something, and it's going to take me a little while to get through it, so bear with me. Do you want a compensatory pick or do you want 2 first-round picks? What is better?
2 first-round picks.
Do you know why I ask you that?
Why?
Because if you franchise tag Nik Bonitto and some other team wants him, they're going to have to surrender 2 first-round picks. If Jonah Ellis becomes a 12-sack guy, which he possibly could show that capability, and then you could go, okay, Bonitto, have we seen the best of Bonitto? My answer is no. But if Bonitto maybe levels off and he's more of a 12-sack guy and not a 17-sack guy. If Jonah Ellis becomes your 12-sack guy, do you want to just lose Jonah when somebody signs him and then you get a third-rounder compensatory pick? Big flipping deal. You have to utilize the tools that are at your disposal. And I know everyone, pay Bonitto, pay every player. It's the NFL. It sucks for the players because their NFLPA is terrible. It's the worst unit in all of sports. But the Denver Broncos, is it better to pay Zach Allen $25 million a year because that's what he wants, pay Courtland Sutton $23 million a year because that's what the market is, and Sutton already proved it last year. He played ball with you last year. Sutton's almost first in line to get this deal. I think Allen's second. Bonito's third because you still have the franchise tag, which is going to be about a wout? I just went overfoot on you.
It's Friday, brother.
I told you I used to stutter when I was younger, so It's amazing I talk for a living, although sometimes English is very difficult for me. You get Nik Bonitto on the franchise tag for about the same that you'd be paying him anyway. So use the security you have, use the tools that you have, and one day you will have to pay Nik Bonitto, or You're going to get a ransom back for him. Kev, what are the numbers?
So Shaq Barrett in 2019 had 19.5.
Okay.
Von Miller's career high was in 2012. He had 18.5.
Okay, so is Nik Bonitto an 8? Let's just split the difference. Is he a 19-sack guy? I can't say yes. I can't say no. I don't know. We are going to find out a lot about Nik Bonitto and what you do, because if he's a 19-sack guy, you're paying the man.
Right.
You're paying the man. But if he's a 12-sack guy, you go, okay, I think Jonah Ellis can be a 12-sack guy.
Here's the X factor in all this, though. What did Von Miller also have besides being a great sack artist? Nose for the football. A very famous nose for the football.
Mm-hmm.
He picked off Tom Brady in the AFC title game. He strip sacked Cam Newton twice in the Super Bowl. One that led to a touchdown, another one that could have led for a touchdown if TJ Ward didn't slip.
Right.
What does Nik Bonitto have?
Same thing.
A nose for the football.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the play he made against the Colts this year, going the other way. Think about the play he made against the Cleveland Browns.
What a pick 6.
Going the other way. Well, it was almost 2 pick sixes. The Colts one turned out to be a fumble because it was technically a backwards pass.
Right.
But basically, he had 2 pick sixes this year. That, to me, that nose for the football also is worth 3-4 sacks. So I would take your number from 19 and put it down to 15. Because if you can be 15 and you can also strip sack, force fumble, fumble recover, pick 6, all that stuff, that makes you even that much more valuable. I haven't seen a Broncos non-corner, I get it, Pat Surtain has a nose for the football.
Right.
But non-corner have a nose for the football like Nik Bonitto since Von Miller played.
Okay, you're just going to have to be careful with the credit card. You've got the capability of signing everybody.
My owners were $70 billion.
Yes,
and
I
an
know
unlimited credit card.
We could get into the salary cap as a myth thing.
It is a
but
myth.
I think there is a way to best approach the Nik Bonitto thing, and unfortunately, that is to not pay him this year.
Well, what if he starts cropping people out of photos? Remember? Vaughn infamously did that to John Elway at the White House.
You're addicted to Twitter. You're addicted to Twitter. You're addicted.
So are you.
No, actually, I hate it.
You used to be.
Yeah, I used to be, yes.
You kicked
and
that
I just got
habit.
old. I just got old. I'm tired of this. Do you like athletes that are always on social networking? It's kind of like young man, old man argument, but still, like, I kind of, the old school in me is like, just play, dude. Just
well,
I don't need
Russell
to see
Wilson
you.
was addicted to the thing.
I don't need to see Russell Wilson and all up in the videos. Now, Nik Bonitto thankfully doesn't do that, and I get it. You know, it's the thing. It's what you do, but I don't remember Philip Lindsay being on Twitter. I remember his sister going after me on Twitter when I said, yeah, Phil's probably peaked because he peaked. You know, I remember that, but I don't remember Philip Lindsay being all up in my mentions, right? So with Nik Bonitto, he will get paid eventually. It's just how you process it. I think there's a franchise tag coming for him next year.
But Vaughn literally cropped the boss out of a photo at the White House and then got his money.
Mm-hmm.
Vaughn was worth every penny. Like
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think there's a correlation
Is Nik
between
Bonitto yet Von Miller?
being on social media and being worth your money.
Is Nik Bonitto yet Von Miller?
He's not yet, but I just gave you a bunch of traits that he has that remind me of Vaughn.
Yeah. He's close. He's close. But again, I think the Zach Allen deal is more impactful, and I think Cortland Sutton needs to get paid. You need to pay Cortland Sutton
Sutton's
as
like
soon as possible.
7 years older than Nik Bonitto.
Mm-hmm.
Again, why is he first in line?
I'm not saying don't give Bonitto his money, so don't at me, bro. Not you, but any of the listeners. Don't at me, bro. I'm not saying don't give Nik Bonitto his money. I said give it to him at the right time.
Okay, I
Now
get
is
that.
not the right time.
But you know what my order would be?
Mm.
The opposite of yours. Allen's 2 on both our lists.
Okay.
Bonito's 1 and Sutton's 3 on my list.
Sutton already played ball with you last year, though.
After he pouted a bunch and threatened to hold out.
Did it work?
This was
Cropping
not
pictures out.
This
Did it
was
work?
not a fun time last year with Cortland Sutton. You
No.
even said yourself you didn't recognize the guy at the podium. You
Yeah.
thought that was an agent talking.
Exactly. And the first day of minicamp, he was awful.
He was dropping
terrible.
balls.
Yeah.
Well, he was just there so he didn't get fined, right?
Yeah.
Just there so he didn't get fined.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get back to this because there's a lot to dive into, but we're gonna keep the Broncos conversation rolling because believe it or not, football is back. Rookie minicamp going on right now at Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit. Cecil and I will tell you the biggest questions that need to